Greetings, nurses, midwives, and AHPs, and to our international nurses. My name is Ellie, and you're watching ASC's free online webinar titled Strategies for Success Master the IELTS. This is your time to learn the tips and tricks for your next English language test. So, how's everyone doing? I hope that everybody's online now. Can I see those thumbs up? There you go. Are you dreaming of thriving in the dynamic healthcare landscape of the UK? Well, you've landed in the right place. Today's webinar is your one stop shop for understanding the crucial role the International English Language Testing System, or IELTS, plays in unlocking your UK career aspirations. Maybe a lot of you are asking, why the UK? The UK boasts a world renowned healthcare system offering unparalleled opportunities for professional growth, career advancement, and excellent working conditions. With a growing demand for skilled nurses and AHPs, the UK beckons bright minds like you. But here's the key: demonstrating your English language proficiency is essential for securing your UK healthcare dream. That's where the IELTS comes in. We have asked our audience about their questions before the event and are excited to answer them for today's info session. But before anything else, I have few house rules. First of all, you have to listen attentively and take notes if you wish. Feel free to ask questions at any time in the comment section. Our team will be on hand to reply. Our speaker will hold a short live Q&A session at the end of this program or during the program, and it may not be possible to answer everyone's questions during the event, but we will provide a full list of answers to your questions via email. All right? So, are you all ready to master the IELTS? It's time to meet the main event. Prepare to be wowed by our guest speaker. She has been a seasoned exams account relationship manager with the British Council Philippines for over 11 years. She has climbed the ladder from invigilator to customer service leader, a pioneer in bringing IELTS on computer to the Philippines over 5 years ago, and now co-heads the expansion across key locations nationwide. Without further ado, let's start this enlightening journey together and welcome our guest speaker, Miss Jessica De La Cruz. Miss Jess?
Hi, everybody. Hi, Ellie. That was um, a heartwarming introduction. So, welcome everybody to this webinar, and thank you, ASC Global, for inviting us over.
Of course, Miss Jess, you always have a special place in our hearts. And it's really nice to see you again. The last time I saw you was during the British Council Philippines Talent Show. And thank you
Oh,
for making me second runner-up. It was
we
really
will
fun.
never forget that, Ellie, and we look forward to having you again this year.
Oh yeah, definitely. We'll be sending you other talents this year. You know, there are lots of talents here at ASC. But anyway, thank you again, Miss Jess. We're excited to have you, and of course, our audience today, as we dive into a journey of sharing and exploring knowledge. Whether our audience already an expert or just curious, this is a great chance to share each other's valuable insights. We have a set of questions from our audience this afternoon. We've collected a lot of questions coming from them. They're really excited, Miss Jess.
Bring it on.
So my question is, are you ready to answer this one?
Yes, definitely.
Yay! All right. So this is my first question coming from our audience. Do you offer IELTS sponsorship for nurses?
All right. So, first of all, unfortunately, we don't. And if in case you're interested in getting sponsorships, it's best to directly talk to your agency like ASC Global Recruitment, because I believe there are employers who would actually sponsor your IELTS preparation review and your IELTS sponsorship. So best to consult would be ASC Global Recruitment. However, for the British Council, we do have different kinds of promos every now and then. We will actually have one of our biggest promos. We are currently having one of our biggest promos for those who would like to take IELTS on paper test, which is about a 3,000 peso savings on your test. And promos upcoming for our biggest event, which will be the IELTS Fair.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Miss Jess. We have another question here. How much is IELTS and what are the requirements for IELTS registration?
Okay, so there are two types for the of IELTS test that's accepted in the UK if you want to work there as a nurse. So first is the IELTS test. Most students or most nurses call it as the regular IELTS test. It's at present 12,350 pesos. And the other one is IELTS for UK VI, which is usually for you to get your visa. It's 12,720 pesos. Now, for you to know which test you would actually need to get, ASC Global has the answer to that. So that's the current test fee. And all you need to do is to register online and prepare, at least have a copy of any of the following IDs. So we accept passport, SSS, GSIS, PRC license, Unified Multipurpose ID, and your national ID. So you need to have the scan copy or the photo of these valid IDs when you register for the test, and then make sure bring the original copy of the valid ID, the same valid ID during your test.
All right, thank you. There's another question here, but I think this is for ASC, so I think I can answer this in behalf of ASC. So, what type of IELTS is suitable for applying for UK Allied Health Professional? So, you can take either the academic or general training IELTS, but we also recommend taking the UK VI for UK application and visa purposes. If you have any questions or further clarifications about this, you may reach out to our recruiters via our Facebook page. They can give you the accurate answers for this one. So that's it. So I think we can proceed to the next few questions, which is more for you, Miss Jess. So another question here from our audience. How do you ace IELTS, especially in the speaking area?
All right, two words: constant practice. So it is best when not only for your speaking test, but when you are required to take the IELTS test, the first thing you need to know is your band score requirement. So if I'm not Ellie, the band score requirement would be around 6.5 in writing and not lower than 6 for the rest of the components, right? For going to the UK. Please do correct me if I'm wrong. So once you know
Yeah.
your band score requirements, please make sure that you also know where your English level is at so that you would be able to prepare. Now, going back to the original question for the speaking area, for the British Council, we have a lot of videos of sample speaking tests with the examiner that you can watch for. You can watch, and then there are also available podcasts or even visual materials that you can use to be able to practice your English capacity. And that would also entail you, of course, reading a lot of books because you would need to expand your vocabulary. Because if you need a seven, then you need, of course, more complex words or more upskill words. And then practice. So when you are doing nothing, or when you are trying to converse with other people, try to use the English language, because the more that you use the English language in your everyday life, the more that you get used to it, the more that you get confident, the more that you will be prepared during your speaking test.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Jess. Let me just correct that part for the IELTS score. So writing should be at least 6.5, and the other component should be at least 7.0. And we have
Seven.
other, we have other options as well. And our recruiters will be glad to answer that. So you just have to ask the questions to our recruiters through our Facebook page. All right. And yes, so that's actually a very good thing to do for the speaking, to practice speaking. So I think I need to do that every day. And if
Talk
we're
to your
doing,
husband with that, or maybe your colleagues,
yes,
or
um,
anyone actually.
right, Miss Jess. And speaking of that, if there's actually one way to, practice through speaking, there's also another question coming from our audience here. Any tips on how to improve your writing?
Okay, good. Um, for us from the British Council, there are a lot of free review materials that you can access, which you can find at ieltsasia.org/ph. We have model answers for the writing test. We also have questions that you can use to create your mock writing materials. I believe we also have a current promo or a current activity where our nurses are invited to submit their writing materials or their writing answer sheet sample writing materials or essays, and an IELTS expert would actually gauge their essays. So if you want to know more about it, please visit IELTS British Council Philippines. But moving on to tips and techniques, again, that's constant practice. And number two, reading a lot, because again, aside from grammar and vocabulary and all other criteria that you need or where you will be judged upon, vocabulary is key for you to be able to get your band score requirement. So maybe try to start with reading small passages. Try to practice on a daily basis, writing something short based on a general topic, not about not about the status of your relationship or your opinion, anything that's actually anything that's more on general info. You can do that. There are a lot of questions available on our website, and you can use these questions to create your mock-up essays.
Yeah, and they said practice makes perfect. So I really believe in that.
Definitely.
Yeah, we have another question here from our audience. What are the subjects we should focus on before taking an IELTS test?
All right, good question. Let me answer that with another question, which would be, what do you think would be your weakest um, component? Because the IELTS test consists of listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And these are the main subjects you need to focus on when you prepare for the IELTS test. And having said that, because I mentioned earlier that you need to know your level or English level, so you would be able to know how you would prepare to get your band score requirement. In addition to that, you also need to know which component you need to focus on. So we do have what we call English Score. It's an app. It's a free app. You download it and you answer a 40-minute test. And it would tell you like what's your score or what's your English capacity based on these four components. And hopefully it would actually help you assess which component you need to focus on. So if you deem like you need to focus on all test components, then give yourself more ample time to prepare. And there are a lot of resources available, especially from our website. Then maybe if you know which one, like let's say writing, then focus on writing, but don't forget to still prepare for the other three components.
Oh wow, that's great. And speaking of practice makes perfect, there's another question here. He or she is asking what practice materials are available for them.
A lot. We have a plethora of free review materials available and emphasis on free. Whether or not you are already registered to take the IELTS test, the British Council wants to make sure that you have the full access to these resources. So all you need to do is to visit our website. The website address is ieltsasia.org/ph. So we have um, preparation materials starting from what we call the startup one, where we simply collated everything and scheduled the review, because we know that it's very overwhelming for people to start preparing for the English test. So, and they think, how do I start? Where do I start? Which one should I go? Where should I go? So, we collated all our free review materials, um, schedule this for you so that you'll have a startup. You can have a jump start on your on your review material, and then you can later on check all other videos, our familiarization test. You can join our paper test mock test or computer mock test, etc. So materials are available on ieltsasia.org/ph. Just please have time to check on these.
Yay, right. We'll flash later on the link to that. I'm sure that we'll be showing a slide for this
Yeah,
links later on,
actually,
right, Miss Jess? Yes,
yes,
for
we'll
those
be sharing
who
more
weren't.
info. Yes.
Right. So yeah, so there are more questions here, and we cater to all the questions that we gathered from our audience because they're really very interested to know more about British Council and IELTS. So one of the questions is that is it difficult to pass the IELTS test because of the examiner's biases and preferences?
That is definitely not right. Okay, all the IELTS test has been in the market for more than 35 years, and we are trusted by 11,000 organizations because of our reputation and how we conduct the IELTS test. And that includes ensuring that the test is based on fairness and that we follow secured guidelines. So, having said that, examiners are recruited and trained well or even constantly monitored to ensure that they practice based on the IELTS standards. So definitely there are no biases, there are no preferences in gauging your English capacity because we have standards, and we do check them from time of not from time to time, but rather always to ensure that they are still qualified to be part of the pool of examiners.
All right. Thank you, Miss Jess. This next question is actually a question been asked a lot of times. When I was still a recruiter from ASC, this has been asked to me as well many times. So it's really good to ask this to you. Is it better to take the IELTS outside your country of origin because will it be easier to achieve your desired IELTS score from,
That has been an ongoing debacle amongst IELTS test takers, and we always say it's not a good practice or it's definitely incorrect. You can take the IELTS test anywhere and you will be graded fairly because anywhere you take the test, we follow the same standards. And we always say this. Um, let's say there's an IELTS test in the Philippines or all over the world today. That means all of these countries actually use the same set of questions.
Mm, okay.
So whether you will take the test in Vietnam or in Malaysia or in Singapore, it doesn't matter because everyone on the same day will take the same test and examiners will still follow the same standards. Plus, examiners are randomly assigned. So we don't really have there is really no bearing whether you take it in Mandaluyong or in Vietnam or in Malaysia. So don't
Right.
fret anymore. Focus on your preparation. Get uh don't spend too much on taking the test in other countries. Take it where you are.
Okay, that's really relief for the one who asked that because, yeah, I think there are some nurses who'd like to travel somewhere else just to take this IELTS exam because they thought it's easier from that country or so. But there you go, we heard it from Miss Jess. It's the same English test anywhere in the world. So you better stay in your country so to save time. So just practice instead. Okay. So we have three more questions here, Miss Jess.
Sure.
I'm really excited. Yes. Next question is: can IELTS scores only be used for studying in the UK?
Um, IELTS is accepted by 11,000 organizations worldwide. However, in the U, and there are two types of three, to be honest. But at the moment, for studying and working, it's IELTS and IELTS for UKVI. So specifically for UK visas, you need to have IELTS for UKVI. Um, however, IELTS for UKVI is still accepted in other countries. So if you have an
Mm,
IELTS for UKVI and let's say you change your mind, you want to go to other countries aside from the UK or you want to apply there, apply maybe in the US, etc., they will still accept your IELTS for UKVI. However, for visas, UKVI will not accept your IELTS. For some employers, they would accept IELTS, just IELTS. But again, if you need to have your visa, it's IELTS for UK. So definitely, if you have your IELTS score, you need to also, if you have your IELTS certificate, you need to check which one is accepted in your by your requiring institution, and also if your band score requirement in that certificate actually meets what they need.
Exactly right. Just like what I mentioned earlier, for AEC Global Recruitment, for our nurses who like to apply to us, we strongly recommend to take the UK visa instead because you'll be using it as well with the visa purposes. So yeah, it's like hitting two birds in one stone. Yeah.
Yes,
Right. All right.
definitely.
Two more questions, Miss Jessica. Is taking a computer-based test better? Can we lose marks for poor handwriting?
All right, that's two questions in one question. Well,
Yeah.
um, so let me go first with the first question, which would be the is taking a computer-based test better? I'll answer that with another question. Which are you much more comfortable with? Taking a test via computer or taking a test via paper? So it boils down to your preference, where you are comfortable with. Because for example, I have a friend. If you ask him, he'll say he is much more comfortable taking the test via paper. But if you ask me, I prefer taking the test via computer because, of course, that might also affect your performance. If you're not used to taking the test via computer, it might affect your testing journey or even your test performance. So better yet, um, take the test via paper. All right. So again, it's based on your preference. Then number two, can we lose marks for poor handwriting? Definitely. Examiners are not magicians. They cannot decipher poor handwriting. So it's best if you want to take the IELTS on paper test, make sure that your handwriting is legible and understandable. Otherwise, if you feel like you can't really improve your handwriting, yet you are comfortable taking the test via computer, then take the test via computer then. Actually, most people with bad handwriting, when we always ask them why they took the computer test, they would say, aside from the other valuable things like faster results, lesser people, etc., they would say because I have bad handwriting.
Mm. So there's always an option for those who have a good penmanship and those who doesn't have one. So they need to take the computer. All right. One last question from our audience,
That's
Miss.
last. Give it.
Yeah, the last one. All right. There are more questions, but as mentioned earlier, we will answer all the other questions with your help soon via email. So in the meantime, we just selected these few questions that we have here for now, and this is the last question from our audience: is the test marked by a computer or by a person?
It's via person, specifically, let's say, for the speaking test. The reason why we still stick with live interviewers, it's because based on a study conducted by Cambridge, it says that the best way to the the best way to still gauge a person's speaking ability is through
Mhm.
live interview. Hence, the speaking test is still marked by a live person, or the interview is still done by a live person. Though we do it now via video call speaking, which means you no longer need to be in one room with the examiner.
Oh wow! Now that was a lot of questions from our audience, Miss Jess. We hope that Miss Jess and I have answered your curious about the IELTS. What do you think about these questions? It's really interesting, right, Miss Jess?
Very interesting. And we usually get the same questions, to be
Oh, that's
honest.
nice.
Some new, of course. And this is very helpful so that we would be able to also debunk incorrect perception or opinion about IELTS to make you all feel comfortable about taking the test and hopefully choose IELTS as your preferred uh, English test requirement, because definitely IELTS still has the biggest advantage over the other options that you have in the market.
Right. Thank you, Miss Jess. And of course, we are, since we already have you online, it's a rare opportunity for us to have you to be our guest. So we will actually be presenting some more information coming from you, right, Miss Jess? So at least our audience, if they need to know more about British Council and the services that you offer, here's the right time for them. So I'll leave you for now and I'll get back to you. The floor is yours, Miss Jess.
Thank you, Ellie. So, thank you for this time. I just want to briefly talk about, of course, IELTS and what do you expect from us, British Council, your preferred test center. All right, so here you go. So, just to let you all know, in case you don't know, the IELTS test is also known as the International English Language Testing System, and British Council is a proud co owner of the test. So, Cambridge, one of the owners, actually create the test, and the British Council administers the test in in all countries globally, including the Philippines. So nationwide, we bring the IELTS test in different key locations in the Philippines, such as these locations. All right, so we have a website. It's www.britishcouncil.ph, and that's where you could find the locations or the test dates that we have where we deliver the test. And moving forward to the next slide, these are the locations that I'm actually proud to show you. So we do conduct IELTS on paper and on computer, as well as IELTS for UKVI on paper and on computer in key locations nationwide. So we deliver in 26 test locations all over the Philippines. And for IELTS on computer, that's over 18 test locations nationwide. So the options are endless for you, and you can actually take the test wherever you are located. So just please take note there are locations where we conduct simply just the IELTS test and other locations with the IELTS for UKVI test. So from Luzon, Visayas to Mindanao, don't fret. We do have both of these tests delivered. So you only have to do is what you only have to do is to check our website, that's britishcouncil.ph, to check available test dates in these locations and eventually register for the test. Next slide, please. All right, so we've been talking about, test preparation, and we know that taking the test is already nerve wracking and that you don't know how to start or what you actually need to check to be able to prepare for the test. Don't worry, we got you. Here are the free review materials exclusive to British Council test takers. And the first one is what we call IELTS Ready Premium. So IELTS Ready Premium is a review material exclusively available to the test taker. So once you have registered for a test, either for IELTS or IELTS for UKVI, you would be able to have a free access through your registration material. Your registration portal. And what do you get? So there are more tests or free test preparation that would be around 40 practice tests. There are model answers. There will be what we call feedback from IELTS experts. And then we have live skills masterclasses. More about that in the next slide, please. So, as we've mentioned, we have 40 full practice tests and mock tests. We have 25 for academic, 15 for general training, and it encapsulates all four skills. And the system is actually tailor fit is tailored fit to what you actually need. So, for example, if you say that you need to work more on your writing skills, then those are the interactive materials or even the practice tests that the system would actually give you so that you would be able to practice more on your weakest component. There are also answers with explanation on every reading and listening question because you also need to understand why that's the answer. All right. And then we have writing and speaking practice tests with model answers. So we've been receiving a lot of questions earlier about the writing and speaking test. This is for you then. So we have these model answers so that you know what the examiners are looking for. Of course, you also need to know the criteria, which can easily be found if you check takeielts.britishcouncil.org. We also have new and up-to-date webinars, skills masterclasses every week, and these are live skills masterclasses, which would eventually give you a chance to talk to our IELTS experts. Aside from you have the live feedback available to you within 24 hours. Then again, we also have familiarization videos, mock videos, so you can watch all of them. We also have real-time performance versus score required calculator. Because of course, we want to make sure that you have a grab on your progress. So there's what we call progress check every time. And this is all for free after you've registered for the test. Next slide, please. We've been talking about IELTS on paper, IELTS on computer, and for those who maybe have already decided to take the test via computer or maybe still undecided, we have what we call an IELTS on computer familiarization test. And this is a complete mock-up of the actual computer test. It's the full version and it's available for both academic and general training. And you will receive results for listening and reading sections. All you need to have is your laptop and an internet connection, and you're ready to go. You don't need to register. You can already take the test once you've already clicked the link. And it's accessible anywhere, anytime. And you do as much as little of the test as you choose. So that would actually give you more time to prepare and more time to be more familiar with the actual test. So once you take the actual computer test, you're already confident, you're already familiar with how the system goes. If you wanna take that, please do take a photo of this and go to the website. It's www.ieltsasia.org/ph. And then please click prepare and then choose IELTS on computer familiarization test. Next, please. We also have what we call an IELTS prep app. You can actually download it now while you're watching us. It's for free. It's available at Google App Store, Google Play, and Apple App Store. So it has listening, reading, writing, and speaking practice tests. It would also explain common grammar rules, tips and techniques. Also, an explanation of the assessment criteria. The assessment criteria is important, especially for the writing and speaking parts of the test, because that's where you would know how you would be graded during when you take these components. All right, and then again we have progress check, and then you can easily bookmark useful pages. So if you have a mobile data or you are connected to the internet, why not download it now? It's IELTS Prep app. Next. This is what I've been talking about earlier. We want to help you jumpstart your review material, your review journey, or your test preparation. So we do have what we call IELTS City Planner. So we have a plethora of free review materials on the website, which is www.ieltsasia.org/ph. And we know it's a bit confusing when there are a lot of options for you. Don't worry, we already did the first work for you. So we created a comprehensive list of topics to cover all four components to give you a boost, a jump start in your test preparation. So this actually contains links to various free British Council online preparation offers, such as practice tests, video tutorials, online courses, etc. There are also external sources that we think are beneficial to improving your overall English communication skills. So, if you want to have a copy of this, all you need to do is to go to our website. It's for free. Okay? So don't miss that out. Next, please. So I do hope you're already visiting our website, ieltsasia.org/ph, to check all the materials that I've been mentioning about while we are waiting for the next slide. actually. All right. So I've been telling you about our website, and that's ieltsasia.org/ph. You definitely need to save this site, because aside from the ones I've mentioned earlier, there are still a lot of review materials available for you, for all of you guys, for free. So please do check that out. Next, please. So we have a lot of upcoming events, and the biggest one is what we call the British Council IELTS Fair. So the British Council IELTS Fair, next please, is our annual event where we basically promote the IELTS test, and we invite a lot of partners to join us, so that you'll have just one venue where you can talk to them to help you jumpstart, or to help you get more information to for your study, work, or even migration plans. So we've invited a lot of partners, and that includes ATS Learning Center. It's a training center which provides us key training, and it's a partner company of ASC. So get to know more about their offers if you visit us on March 9 in Manila, that's in Shangri-La Plaza. March 16 in Cebu, Ayala Central Block, and March 23, Ayala Abriza in Davao. So if you want to know more about the IELTS Fair, please feel free to visit the website. And just a tip, make sure not to miss this, because aside from our partners, there will be a lot of promos that you should never, ever miss, both from the partners and from us. So we hope to see you all on March 9 for the kickoff in Manila and the rest of the legs next month. Next. So we talked about IELTS on computer familiarization test. We also have IELTS on paper trial test, where you experience the actual test. So it's a mock test basically. So you take the test in our venue, experience how it is taking the paper test, and then after that, you'll actually get to have a chance to join in our current promo, and that promo will give you savings of three not 300 pesos everyone. That's 3,000 pesos. That's 25% off of your IELTS test fee. So all you need to do is to actually join the trial test, and then afterwards you will receive a promo code. So for the coming weeks, these are the schedules that we have. So for March, we have March 8th in Cebu, that's in Cebu. And then we also have March 16 and 17 in Cubao, Quezon City. That's with our venue SPCC. These mock tests are available for both academic and general training. So we've been doing this since January, and a lot of people have already availed of the 3,000 peso savings from their IELTS test fee. This is a once in a blue moon promo offer. So if I were you, especially if you are about to take the test anytime now until April 30, 2024, don't miss this out, especially if you also want to take the test via paper. All right, next please. So that's the next one. Thank you so much. If you have any more questions, please feel free maybe to type it in the comment section, or directly contact us. Our Facebook page is IELTS British Council Philippines, or you can email us britishcouncil@britishcouncil.org.ph. Check our website britishcouncil.ph or ieltsasia.org/ph, or maybe you can just simply talk to ASC, because they are our registration partner, and they would gladly liaise your questions to us, just like what they did today. So thank you so much, and we hope that we would be able to see you in one of our testing centers. And all the best on your upcoming journey, especially in achieving your dreams working as a healthcare professional in the UK. Ellie, you're on mute.
Hi. I was really, I was amazed with all the information that you showed. You know, I was, if I am a nurse, I'm really very, I got really interested of going to the UK, especially if I need the IELTS. Those information that you showed us really are very helpful, Miss Jess. Thank you so much for showing that to us. And of course, I would like to make a big shout out to our principal employers currently watching us right now in the UK, Drake Maddox. And would like to, of course, also again, because a lot of are asking about the requirements again, so would like to show it again here. So just to clarify the score requirements for NMC on the UK, you must score a minimum of 6.5 for writing and 7.0 in reading, speaking, and listening.
That's
And
why you
also,
can talk to your requiring institution, not the British Council. We don't dictate what you need. They dictate what you need. Yes.
exactly right, Ms. Yes. And there's another one here. Yes, you can also combine scores. There you go. From two tests to achieve the criteria as long as the tests are taken within 12 months of each other. There are full details provided with a handy online tool to check if the scores meet the requirements on the NMC website, which is at www.nmc.org.uk. And you can see it
Oh,
from here.
Ellie. Yes, which reminds me, because a lot of people have been asking us since we've launched what we call the one skill retake for
Hmm.
IELTS on computer test takers. As of the moment, one skill retake scores are not yet accepted by the NMC or by NHS, so please do not have this as one of your options.
All
All
right.
right.
Noted on that. Thank you so much, Miss Jess. And of course, to Miss Liz Miller from Drake Maddox. Thank you so much for watching as well. All right. So I think that concludes our informative information session. If we haven't addressed any of your questions this time, no need to worry. We'll be sending out an email blast following this webinar to ensure all your inquiries are answered. And as we approach the end of our session, I want to express my sincere appreciation to Ms. Jess for generously sharing her invaluable insights and wisdom with us today. Your knowledge has undeniably enlightened and inspired us all. Thank you so much, Ms. Jess. And of course, because of that, we'd like to give you a little bit of token and a certificate for you. So here we go. I'm gonna read it for everyone. Here's the certification of participation awarded to Miss Jessica Dela Cruz for being a panelist or speaker and sharing valuable insights during the ASC Live Career Orientation entitled Strategies for Success Master the IELTS, broadcasted online via the ASC Facebook page on the 23rd of February 2024 at 4 p.m. Manila, given on this 23rd day of February 2024 in Manila, Philippines. So that will be signed by our operations manager, Mr. Razel John Atienza, and of course yours truly, the sales and marketing manager, Ellie Marjavar. So Miss Jess, I'll be handing the hard copy of this one to you when we meet during one of your events. Okay. Thank you so much once again, Miss Jess, for joining us, and I hope to see you soon again. Do you have any final words for everyone?
So, first of all, of course, thank you so much, ASC Global Recruitment, for giving us a chance to reach your audience and talk about, the IELTS test, which is one of the requirements that would open the opportunity for them to work as successful healthcare professionals in the UK. And to all of you out there watching right now, and hi to Liz. We wish you all the best in your UK journey, and together with ASC, the British Council will definitely be able to help you in achieving your dreams, in working, and eventually migrating in the UK as a healthcare professional. So, good luck and all the best.
Thank you, Miss Jess. See you around. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
And to our audience, thank you for your active participation and engaging questions that we have received this past few days. And speaking on behalf of our entire team, I want to convey our heartfelt gratitude to all those who participated in today's online event. Stay tuned next info session because we have another special guest joining us. Watch out on our Facebook and LinkedIn accounts for more updates. And of course, to our lovely nurses who want to achieve their UK dream, here is our application form in QR code. feel free to scan, take a screenshot or a photo, and our recruiters would be happy to assist you. So there you go. So again, that's our QR code. If you have your phones right now, start scanning and start sending those applications. And again, our recruiters will be there to assist you. Also, for those who have not yet subscribed or followed us, please follow ASC Global Recruitment's social media pages. We are on Facebook, in LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. Well, folks, that brings us to the end of today's webinar with the British Council Philippines, and I hope you found this session informative and helpful in your journey towards achieving your IELTS goals. So once again, my name is Ellie, reminding you that the IELTS is your gateway to international opportunities and the UK is just ASC away. Bye.
The experience at very accommodating yung mga interview at hindi mo mapipil yung pressure while during interview. So great experience.
So remember, this is your future. You're the one designing your future, and you're the one designing how the interview goes, right?
But you have a huge amount of support. I mean, there is no UK hospitals now in the land where you wouldn't find a cohort of Filipino nurses. None. You're everywhere. All for the good, yeah. Okay.
We want to put quality in everything we do. So, obviously with the NHS and CRCH, we're always constantly assessing the services we're putting out and reviewing what we're doing. So we're making sure that we're providing the best service we possibly can, whether that's feedback from our staff or whether that's feedback from our patients.
Yeah, Miss Eller was very supportive. She was always following up with the requirements and asking if everything was okay. Prior to the interview, the initial interview, they were supportive in terms of providing brochures and reviewers in order to for us to be ready for the interviews.